What we'll do is when I come up to YouTube, you mute it there and go back to uh, oh, that's okay. It's already muted. There. All right. Picture in picture. I don't know what that is. All right. Boom. Got it. We live. We live, baby. Oh, see, yes, I told you my phone was breaking up.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's terrible.
It is, man.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's heartbreaking, really, because this is a one of one. I bought it. They stopped making them. Oh, like, Lord, have mercy. Let me start putting this. Let me put this.
What, your Lincoln?
Yeah.
What are you looking for? Hello.
Changing the narrative piece. What's going on? My brother S. Senna. What's going on? Missy, what's popping? TP. Hello. What's going on, brother? What's going on, brother? Leafy? Oh, I'm getting feedback. Yeah.
Right.
Getting feedback.
You can probably pause here, but yeah.
Yeah, just turn it down. Hey, family, I'm going to put the link in the chat in case anybody wants to jump on. Bam, 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 just like that. All right, family, it's your brother Asad.
Hey, I'm Adrienne.
And we are back again with another quick video. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and hit the notifications bell so that you'll be notified when we drop new material on this channel. Secondly, in terms of housekeeping, we got to give a special and a significant and a particular and a peculiar shout out to our South African family for all the love you guys have shown. This channel, my wife, my family, my children, we greatly appreciate it. And anything in terms of housekeeping, bam, just watch somebody jumping on quick.
Ready.
Yeah, what's going on? Bam, 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 just like that. Just like that. Bam, bam, bam. Just like that. Yeah.
Break up the monotony.
Brother Wayne, can you hear us?
Wayne, where you at?
Brother Wayne, can you hear us? You got it. Let me send you a request. To ask you to unmute.
Unmute yourself.
Yes, I can hear you.
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good. Where you calling from?
Yes.
You got it. Let me send you a request. To ask you to unmute. No, you're fine now. You're fine.
Okay.
Sounds like some background.
No, I think he was probably flipped his phone around. Where you calling from, Brother Wayne? What's going on, brother?
DC. Yes.
Oh, man, I was just in DC Thursday. Wednesday and Thursday.
Yes.
You're kind of low there, brother. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me better now?
Facts. Okay. Yeah, man, I was just in DC, man. Really enjoyed myself out there. You know, it's a really great area, man. So you from DC or you calling from DC?
I've been in DC over 20 years, so.
Oh, okay. Where you originally from?
New Jersey.
Oh, okay. So you're East Coast up and down.
Yes, East Coast.
All right. Definitely, man. So you have you visited SA yet?
I have not, but I've been following you to watch your journey. Yeah.
Well, yeah, man.
Are you planning to visit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am looking to move to retire abroad.
Ooh.
And SA is one place I'm looking at.
Yeah.
I'm looking at some other places in Southeast Africa. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just I just read an article about a guy who no, he didn't retire, he just moved to Bali. right? He moved to Bali. So I think that what I really appreciate, and I was having this conversation with my father-in-law last night, Adrienne's dad, that there are a lot more Black folk waking up to leaving the US, and not leaving the US like they're running or whatever have you, but just seeing that the world is bigger than our little communities. It's bigger than New Orleans, it's bigger than New Jersey, it's bigger than San Antonio, where we're currently located right now. And so yeah, I'm just happy to hear that you're looking at SA, but definitely you need to visit, brother. I'm telling you, it'll change your life.
Yeah, I definitely do. Yeah, I have a few more years before retiring, and I plan to retire as early as I can rather than wait, because I was going to wait a few years before retiring after I reached the age. But I'm going to retire as soon as I can, and then I will start visiting the countries that I have high on my list, and then from that determine which country I'd like to retire in.
And the beauty of retirement is that you can move around. You can be like, I have a place here, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go there. Yeah, so that's the beauty of it, man. Well,
so most places have like a 3-month visa, and so I plan to like stay for 3 months. That should be long enough for me to determine whether or not I might like to stay there in retirement.
Yeah,
and then I can hop around for a little bit, and then before deciding.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great plan. We always have to plan. We talk always about the plan. Bam, bam, bam.
Right.
Got a plan.
Rush into it. Right,
yeah. Go there, visit. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask, Wayne, why is South Africa one of your choices? I'm interested in like the countries that you whittled your choices down to up until this point.
Well, I think it's I'm trying to find places that have large Black populations that are ruled by the Black population, that also have some of the creature comforts that I'm used to, that I like. I know there's a trade-off, but I'm willing to, but I am willing to give up some comforts in order to get into an environment that I'm really looking for. And I'm looking for a large Black community that, not having to hear like the news that I hear every day in the US. To have a different mindset of Black population, where, putting themselves first and respect for each other. I'm looking forward to that. Just, de-stress from the West and the systemic racism, the stress that we all feel from that. Sort of, I may have some things to deal with being an international person, not being from that country, but I think I can deal with that.
So, not to try to sell your own essay, but the beautiful part about SA is that those creature comforts that you mentioned, they're there. You're not, you're not sacrificing much there.
You might be gaining.
Yeah, and he in DC, he got money. He living good. He got money. I just was out in DC. Yeah, they got money. So,
it depends. What part of DC we talking about?
Yeah, there's all different parts of DC.
Right. The last time I was there, I was in Bethesda. That's a different.
Yeah, but that's
outside of DC. That's not DC.
Right.
Yeah. But Bethesda is nice. I was like, these white people living good. Look at this house. But you're not giving up much there. Really a lot. What else did you mention? You mentioned
they're English speaking, which is nice.
English population, Black.
Yeah. But I'm learning Swahili right now in preparation for other East African countries as a possibility.
Here's what I always mention there, because you mentioned about being treated differently, maybe because you're an expat or international individual. The great thing about South Africa is that, and I mention this all the time, is that South Africans are so familiar with African American culture. So you'll pick up a conversation in the restaurant speaking with someone, and you may think, oh, I don't know if they're going to understand this reference. Go ahead and use it because they're going to understand it, right? They are so familiar with the culture. So even being treated, and there will be some differences. It may in fact be a better treatment, but for the most part, it's an easy transition. It's like going to a cousin's house, right?
Yeah.
It's not the same household, but there's so many familiarities that you can fit right in and really enjoy your time there. You mentioned shaking off some of the weight of the West. Man, listen, every time we get on the plane back to the United States, it is like putting on a 50-pound weight vest. I used to use 50-pound weight vest to do, well, let me say, I used to take out 25, so about 25-pound weight vest to do my pull-ups. And I tore up my elbows doing that. But with that being said, it was like putting on that weight vest and coming as you're flying back into the United States. You feel this heaviness that you didn't realize that you were carrying before you left. Like I didn't realize I was carrying all of that weight until I got to South Africa and realized that the weight wasn't there. And it was lifted. And I was like, oh, I couldn't describe it at the time. And I did not recognize that it was there until I was on the plane back, like, dang, I gotta go back to the States.
Yeah.
I gotta deal with all of this over here, So yeah, man, I you'll feel it. And I think it's a continent-wide feeling, that particular feeling. Because when you're
I'm looking
I think that's a
forward to
continent-wide
that.
feeling.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And the familiarity, I've heard a lot of people say that about South Africa, and it is a plus.
Yeah.
However, I've traveled quite a bit, and I do like going into other cultures and learning other cultures too. Like I've been to Morocco and stayed in the Medina and the old part of the city, all of that, and I loved it. I loved how different it was, And
we did a little time in the Medina in Morocco.
Yeah,
It was nice. It was nice.
Yeah.
It was burning up hot. Was it hot when you went?
No, we went in the fall, so there were some nice days, but the nights were very cold. It got a little chilly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had to buy a heavy jalaba to go around in the city. Yeah. We would sit in the square at night and drink mint tea.
Mint tea. Yeah, we came back and we bought a tea kettle, like a metal tea kettle, so we could drink some mint tea. But I tell you, South Africa has absolutely the best hospitality I have seen. But in a close competition, a very close competition, was Morocco. And I tell this story all the time. We were there during Ramadan, and a guy was trying to sell us some rugs or something. And when he finished his presentation, I said, Alhamdulillah, which is like, all praises due to God in Arabic. It's a phrase Muslims use. And he looked at me, he said, you're Muslim? I said, yes. And he said, are you fasting? Because it was during Ramadan. And, when you travel, you don't have to fast, right? If you're traveling, you don't have to fast. You just have to make those days up. But I didn't want to make those days up. So I'm fasting. Yeah, I'm fasting. And he was like, you will break fast with my family. I have no idea who this man is. He put us in a car, drove us across the desert to his house. He fed us. We met his family. None of them could speak English. He was the only one who could speak English. But my wife and kids were sitting with his wife and kids, and they were playing and laughing. And I don't know if they were really talking, but interacting, right?
Yeah.
And he and I had a great conversation. We walked down the street to a masjid to make salat, to make our prayers, came back, and he brought us back to our Riyadh. So I was like, wow, I heard about hospitality in Morocco, and that was, it was crazy as hell for me to get in that car. But I did it.
Experience too.
Yeah.
I had some experiences there. Yeah, really nice, very welcoming. And they made you feel like you were a part of,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like that. It was very, very different. A lot of bartering. The scenery, you know, in the old Medina is very different from DC.
Yeah.
And all the shops and, you know, and everything. It was very, very different, and I like that about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you know, if there are different types of travelers, we have to consider our children and where they go to school and their school experience, but also, you know, I like your plan of, you know, taking time after you retire to really spend a good amount of time in these countries. Because I know in the times that I've been in a country for an extended amount of time, you know, there's a point where it's very exciting and then the newness starts to wane.
Right.
And so what I can see from South Africa is that there will be definitely excitement, but as the newness wanes, you know, that it will still be extremely comfortable to be there. And I think it's important to find a place where you'll be able to find your new crowd, your new social network,
right.
You know, and the places that I've been, that new crowd is a little bit more, can be more difficult to establish, based on how far you are from the culture that you're in,
Exactly.
Your own culture. So
right.
I think, spending extended amounts of time in places that are very different from your own culture is very important before sort of making
I'm hoping those 3 months will be a good indicator of it.
Oh yeah. 3 months, you're gonna enjoy it. You're not gonna want to leave. You're gonna say, man, I ain't going nowhere else. I'm about to stay here. And make sure, because and I'm telling you this and I haven't done it, but make sure you hit other places. Like if you're going to go to Joe's, we went to Joe's in Cape Town and to like Kruger or whatever have
I
you.
want to go to Durban too.
Yeah, make sure you hit Durban and see the different vibes in each city, because keeping up with the Charleses, right?
Chilling with the Charles.
Oh, chilling with the Charles. Keeping up with the Kardashians. chilling with the Charleses. Shout out to my brother and his wife. They fell in love with Cape Town. Yeah. They fell in love with Cape Town. And the other Dr. Nikki, she fell in love with Cape Town. So. And I have to admit, Cape Town is absolutely just breathtakingly beautiful. Yeah, it is breathtakingly beautiful. Yeah. We've been 1 or 2 places, and I have never seen a place that is so aesthetically pleasing like Cape Town.
I'm looking for a place that's more like Black majority, though, where the Black population is just, you know, more substantial.
Yeah.
DC did a number on you.
Yeah, that's the original Chocolate City. Did you go to Howard? Did you go to Howard?
No. I went to Princeton and Cornell. So.
Oh, look at this brother. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me own something, Wayne. I know you got some money, Wayne.
We're just teasing.
I'm still saving.
I always tell people, I'm still paying off them loans, man. I'm still paying off those loans. But Brother Wayne, I appreciate you calling in. I'm going to check on these. You're welcome to hang out. I'm going to go check on some of these comments that we have here. Let's see that I missed.
Somebody
right. I think I'll go back and check you out on YouTube. That's where I got it.
Yes, sir. Yeah. All right, brother. We appreciate it.
Take care.
Thank you so much.
Too.
All the best with your plans and travel plans.
And best of luck to you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, what do we have? And Missy, what's popping? Hectic shout out. You should visit South Africa in the future.
Indeed.
Yeah, what it do, guys, man? What it do? Aunt Malvin K, the young child of my piano.
Oh.
Okay.
You read all that.
Well, I like his name. It's long. Okay. It's a sentence. Hey, fam. Hey, everyone. Dr. Sauer, you're currently working at some institution of higher ed. Would love to know where you're currently working. Huge fan of your channel, by the way. I will be working at Vets when I get to SA. Currently, I work for an organization that's like project management of, how can I put this without revealing where I work? Because I might say something on YouTube and y'all be calling, get him off. Try to cancel you. Get him.
We got fired. Y'all are so sad.
Well, we do, let me just say, we do criminal justice reform. We work doing criminal justice reform. My favorite peeps, my favorite show. Thank you, brother. What's going on, everyone? Everything the gentleman is asking is right here. Facts.
Right in that same.
My family, I'm happy to be here. Bam, 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 just like that. Greetings, Josie Gold. What's happening, Josie Gold? Josie Gold, if you don't mind jumping on, if you're still on, man, we saw this interesting, what is it called? The Daily Maverick? I think it was the Daily Maverick, man. And they were talking about the Black middle class. Well, they're talking about South African middle class. And they really put it to a different perspective because you hear all of this negative news about, oh, South Africa's middle class is shrinking and everybody's leaving. And they really got into the numbers. He got into the numbers of the different reports and
it's like tax data, income tax.
Yeah, he got an income tax data from, I guess, SARS. And he was like, or the Department of Treasury or something like that. And he was like, in fact, one of the biggest, and I'll get back to the comments. He said one of the biggest reports that came out, or that received multiple headlines, was South Africa's middle class is in crisis, or South Africa's middle class is in trouble. And it was based on a report by FNB's debt counseling organization or something like that. Like it was based on people who were seeking debt counseling. So they were already in distress. Right. They were already in distress. So all of the numbers were based on people who are already in distress. This the subset of individuals and not the actual middle class. But people took the headlines and ran with it. And then, it's like this need to paint South Africa bad, but it was some even South African news organizations who took this headline and ran with it. And he was like, it's disingenuous to use these numbers. It's like, it's like I don't want to go as too in deep, but yeah, they were using the numbers of people who were already financially distressed, and they painted that picture, or they painted with broad strokes of the South African middle class. He also talked about the rebound post-COVID. He looked at car sales data from 2019, 2020, 2021, and the bounce back was real. He looked at the number that did they grow 14 million new millionaires in 2021? It was a big number.
Growth in the number of millionaires.
Yeah.
And growth in the middle class.
Even though you see these numbers are being, or these headlines are very disingenuous and misleading when they talk about the middle class.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So, very interesting conversation, man. Let's see. Everything the gentleman's okay. My family, I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here too, brother. Jules in the house. Have y'all moved to South Africa yet? You ready to tell them?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So I guess we were supposed to start this off with an announcement, but Wayne jumped on, and so we have our passports, and we will be in SA on July 28th. July 28th. Bam, bam, bam. Just like that. We will be in SA on July 28th, which is not Thursday coming. Not this week, Thursday, next Thursday. We'll be there for a week because we have to find a place to stay. So we're going to leave the kids here. Kids start school September 2nd.
Yeah.
So we'll be there to find a place to stay. So we're there. We're like jumping in. So we've been on Property 24, searching and scouring because we need a place to live. Or we're going to be homeless in SA. We'll be at the red light dancing and flipping the boxes. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know the people home. Let me say that, but yeah.
Popping a locket.
Yeah. So we're super duper excited. Bam, 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 just like that. But you know what? I don't mind them people at the red light, because as the great philosophical musician Sly Stone would say, I love everyday people. Everyday people. So yeah, that's our little. Now that's really why we went live to make that announcement. But
we can't wait.
Let's see.
We cannot wait.
What's up? Chilling with the Charles. What's going on? I just mentioned your name, brother. I didn't know if you was on here or not. I love watching you guys talk to us Africans, and welcome you feel and the welcome you feel in Africa. Thank you very much. I have traveled a great deal, and my global friends all say the friendliest and food. Yes, good food. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Okay. All right. Chilling with the Charles. What's happening, brother? Has Josie abandoned us? Oh, I guess you're talking about Josie Gold. Hopefully he's on there.
He might have had something to do.
Yeah, the brother might have just saw us on there. Chilling with the Charles is here. What does that say? Doomerlang? First time catching you live in months. Bang, bang, bang. All right, brother. God was showing off when he created Cape Town, says PhD Asad. I do say that. He was showing off. Thank you for the shout out, brother. Definitely always watching. Dr. Asad Limpopo should be on your next destination. It should be your next, it is. Durban, and then we go to Limpopo, and where else? There's some other places that we want to go. We want to hit
there.
Yeah, we want to hit the rounds.
Get settled.
Right. Dorothy Dunning, are you in South Africa? July 28th.
28.
You're still there? There's a lot of fear-mongering when it comes to speaking about SA's economy. Fact stuff. There's a lot of fear-mongering. One of the things he said was that the rich or the billionaires or millionaires were fleeing the country, and it went from like it looked at the
taxpayers.
Well, I see. I wish I would have actually written down some of the data that I would have been able to present, but I wasn't thinking. But it was a difference of like 46 people, like these people who had high incomes, like 50 million, 500 million USD.
Yeah, these are like super rich people.
Right, super duper rich people, $500 million USD. Right, who left South Africa. It was 46 of them, and then headlines come out. The rich people are fleeing the country. It's still like it went from like 600 something to maybe 540 or something odd like that. Please don't quote these numbers. But what I can do is when I post this video, I'm going to post the link to the actual discussion, because it was really eye-opening, and it shifted a position, or shifted my position, as well as it gives pushback to a lot of the negativity that people just love to paint about South Africa, especially when it comes to the economy and the numbers.
And he said you can have your own opinion,
but you can't have your own data.
Data.
Yeah. Or you can't have your own stats, right? Or facts. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, good morning, y'all from Maryland. Now I was just in the area. Went to Nando's, ate some good peri-peri. They will do anything to paint SA in a bad light. Facts. I'm middle class in SA. I'm enjoying the country, and the country has given me opportunities. They said that so many people in the middle class, again, I don't remember the numbers, like 20%, like at the end of paying all their bills, they still have about 20% of their income. Now, that's big. You still have 20% of your income. That means you're doing very, very well, depending on how much that income is. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Congratulations. Thank you. All right. Great news. Congratulations, fam. Thank you. TP told you so. Congratulations. Oh my gosh, it's such good news. Congratulations. Thank you. Patience. Brother Asad, that July 28th. Now you sound South African. 28. Congratulations. Good for your passport. Finally, Gloria. I might be over there. Y'all might be over there in August or September. No, we'll be over there in August. The children start school September 2nd.
Yeah, so we will be there.
The only reason why we're really coming back is because Adrienne has to be in California on August 8th for her job.
No, my business in the street.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know what part of California.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't want nobody stalking you. They be up here, Adrienne's so beautiful. I be like, man, I'm gonna have to watch them South Africans. I want to watch y'all. Yeah. Ashley in Africa, what's going on? Congratulations, for y'all. There's nothing like getting that visa approved. Appreciate it, Ash. How you been doing? See that? Oh, no. I'm talking to the thing. Ash, you ought to jump on the link. You ought to jump on the link. Let me put the link back in the chat. Yeah.
No. Our good people changing the narrative are in the house.
We can make the announcement.
Hey guys.
Land of opportunities. A lot of people left for Australia and New Zealand after apartheid, but some came back. Warrior facts, truths. Don't forget, personally, thank Dr. Aaron. How do you, somebody needs to tell me how to say the brother's name. Dr. Aaron Motoso Alidi. Man, I know I'm butchering that, but I've been watching his video, not his videos. He's been on the news, and he was talking about the basically there were these, since 2004. He's going back to 2004, examining people who received visas either erroneously or fraudulently, and I was reading the comments, and a lot of South Africans are saying, which I don't necessarily agree or disagree, because I believe there are a lot of great politicians and civic leaders in SA, but they were saying that they love this brother. Some people were like, he the only one doing this job. I was like, come on now, y'all go too far. There gotta be other people doing their job. You know, y'all going too far. But they were like, we love Dr. Aaron and blah, 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 blah. And I really want one of my South African family to jump on here to talk about a lot of this ANC hate that I see though. Because in those same comments, they're like, the ANC must fall and the ANC must go. I'm not, well read on South African politics. I do know the ANC is the party of Mandela, and they are the Revolutionary Party, and they are the party that came to power after the end of apartheid, And I wonder if there's a generational divide, if it's older people who are still supporters of the ANC versus young people who may have become disillusioned, or is this a in general feel about the ANC? So if anybody want to jump on and give me a quick political science lesson, I would surely appreciate it. Austin, turn that off. Got a parent.
Turn it down at least.
Adrienne is pretty though. She is beautiful. I tell her every day. Congratulations, doctor. Don't worry, give him some time. He's still new to the country. They'll all change their minds. You'll see. Oh, I hope they don't do that. Ask your wife to read all African names. Sade's twin sister. Hey, Missy Smallberg, Asad is married to Sade. Well, Sade, we've been holding out on your money now. We're supposed to be just living well. Yeah, so let me put the link back in if anybody
Speaking of Sade go just missing in action for years at a time. Huh?
That's when she's painted her career as elusive. Maybe about 20 years ago or 15 years ago, something. It was in the recent past, but not recent.
Yeah.
Recent. But
20 or 15 years ago. I'm just saying, homegirl, and she's never been, as much as she's known by so many. You never see her in tabloids. You never see, like, no one's running around trying to get pictures of her.
Oh, there go the man right there. Bam, bam, bam. Just like that. Just like that. We at?
She can disappear.
Josie, jump back on. Josie, jump back. I don't know what happened. Oh,
I'm a Sade fan.
It says 2 participants. Oh, he's connecting. Okay, I see. All right, man. Josie Gold is connecting, y'all. He will come give me this political science. The political science lesson. But yeah, man. Sade, I don't know what, man. You got coffee in your cup? Because I don't have it.
No, I'm done.
Man, I need a little coffee. But hopefully, Josie, I see it says he's joining, so it may be some. There he is. There you go. There you go. All right, South Africa is great for middle and upper class foreigners, African Americans coming, but the problem is 38% unemployment. And do you know, Warrior Truth, do you know right now in New Orleans, 60% of Black males are unemployed? Boy, these numbers about unemployment, it's like we can paint this over here. But if you look at the numbers of unemployed in New Orleans, we can talk about America, but I like to speak specifically about Black America, right? So how are we doing, right? When you look at these numbers in major metropolitan areas, Black unemployment, male unemployment, again in New Orleans is over 60%. But when you start looking at Black male unemployment in these major cities, Atlanta, Houston, and Jackson, Mississippi, and you start seeing that 40 and 50% of Black men in particular are unemployed, it's kind of hard to paint anybody else as, having a problem. But, that's just my own personal opinion. Brother Josie, are you there? Let me see if I can ask him to unmute. All right. The Shotty knows she had a Twitter. She's coming back. I read it. Okay. The ANC is still the winning party. It's just that social media platforms operate in elevating controversy. Facts. Wow, that's terrible. New Orleans has definitely.
Josie, you're unmuted.
Brother Josie, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
There you go. There you go. Man, how you been, brother?
I'm good, and you?
Man, I can't complain. If I did, nobody would care.
But am I clear though?
Say that again.
Am I clear?
Yeah, you're clear. I can hear you. It's just a little low, but that's probably my computer. It's not, I got an old cheap computer. I bought it from Walmart.
Okay, let me just pick the volume up a bit. Hold on.
All right. Let me see. While you're doing that, brother, wow, that's terrible. New Orleans has definitely been having a struggle since Katrina. It's such a beautiful city. All right, go ahead, brother Josie.
Yeah, like the report you were talking about, like earlier on. Yeah. like that report, for me, I think that report is honest, because if you listen to what the guy was saying, he's saying he gets his information from the Treasury and from Stats SA. So his information actually comes from actual stats, like the most accurate stats you can find out there. So a lot of people don't read. And another thing people need to understand is that when people tell you that a lot of people are immigrating, or white people, or whoever, 9 out of 10 times it's an immigration company telling you this, because they want more people to obviously immigrate and to set up shops elsewhere, because they get paid to do it, including the whole credit people as well. They have their own ulterior motives as well. So everybody's just trying to get some money. So I think people need to understand that, especially South Africans. I urge all South Africans or people who are interested in South Africa to actually read the stats that are out there. Don't just follow the media or the politicians as well. Politicians benefit from telling people, hey, look, you're struggling, it's bad, vote for me. That's how they make money. Yeah.
So do, in your opinion, I don't know, I what I do know is that you are a well-informed brother who, if you know about that Daily Maverick video, the video interview, whatever have you, then I know that you're keeping up with stuff, because that was fairly new, maybe a month ago, and it wasn't like 200,000 views. It was something that you had to kind of dig to find. So in your opinion, how is the Black middle class doing in Johannesburg, or in South Africa in general? I say Johannesburg, but in South Africa in general. And then let me follow up with that, and then maybe break it down by urban areas versus maybe more rural areas, because I know there's going to be a disparity there.
For me personally, I think it's growing every year. And I think another thing, like when we talk in terms of the job economy, what a lot of the people are saying, the people like employers, the people who run large companies, is that it's not that there's no jobs out there. It's just that the jobs that are in demand, that's not the jobs people are studying for. So
Mm.
the economy is changing, like the stuff like coding. So we might not need like all the engineers that are out there, but we might need more coders.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of spaces for things like coding and other stuff, all sorts of stuff that's out there. So I think that's what people need to focus on more, what jobs are needed in the economy. So I see it growing every year. Every year, more and more people are being employed. So like I see a bright future for it if we carry on, maybe even speed up the trajectory, if you ask me. Like, so for me, I see it growing. But when you talk about, but that's mostly an urban thing. I'm an urban guy. Rural area people also work in the major cities. So I think that's how they benefit as well in terms of the middle class. And some people are involved in business. So a lot of people like myself, we're more like entrepreneur type of middle class people. So there's also that as well. But
Okay.
the economy has to grow. I have to also add that. So I think they needs to accelerate the economic growth part. So yeah.
Definitely. He said one of the guy who was talking, the white guy on the video, he mentioned like how purchasing a car is an indicator of an individual being well on their way into the middle class, meaning once they have gotten off public transportation, they are, he said, I believe the analogy he used that a vehicle is the locker key to the gem of the middle class. And that's one thing that I've always noticed when I'm in Johannesburg. When I'm in SA, I'm like, there are a lot of nice cars on the road, but then there's also just a lot of cars, period. But in particular, those nice cars are the ones that you notice. So let me ask you about the ANC. What's all this ANC hate about, bro? Why everybody jumping all on the ANC?
Well, look, the reality is that the country's not doing as well as it should. So a lot of people, even though they're success stories, even though, look, a lot of people have come up and are coming up. That's just the fact. You can't deny it. The stats, the numbers are there, and you see it even when you just go to Johannesburg. Like I lived there my whole life, so I've literally watched this happen before my eyes. So, but the country's not doing as well as it should. So the whole ESCOM thing that should have never happened. The corruption scandals after corruption scandal. I think people are just getting tired of it. So the country hasn't been performing as well as it should have or should be. So we're not where we should be right now. So personally, I just think we need new blood, something to like speed things up in terms of accelerating progress, growing the economy much faster than it is. Because if you look at South Africa has a huge potential. The potential is insane. So that's what most people want. So like the whole corruption scandals and more economic growth and prosperity. And I think the ANC's done all it can do for its people. Like,
yeah,
we need something new.
Again, back to that video, and this is kind of in line with that. You say that South Africa is not doing as well as it could be. I think that's the story of most nations around the world. I mean, technically, we live in one of the superpowers of this modern age, one of the most wealthiest nations that ever existed on planet Earth, and it's not doing as well as it should be, and it's not doing right by the masses of people. I think maybe that's a consequence of government and the maybe even a consequence of democracy, but that's a deeper conversation. But however, this is what I wanted to ask you. In that video, you saw the video, I assume.
Yeah, I saw the video, like
okay.
The Daily Maverick one. Yeah.
So the white guy, he started off his presentation with a glass, and he said the glass half full, half empty. And he said that often as South Africans, you guys view the glass as half empty as opposed to half full. And then he went as far as to say that even if you view it as half full, someone will throw a piece of lime in it or lemon to give it some bitterness, right? So let me just get your perspective on that. What do you think about that? Is that how South Africans view the development of their nation?
South Africans are very negative.
Okay.
South Africans, a lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us. You hear on how some people talk. Many of our people are very negative. many of our people don't actually appreciate what they have. I'm not saying that, how do I put this, that we shouldn't be critical. Everybody should be critical and no one's immune from being criticized. But with all that we have, I think many of our people don't appreciate that. Many of our people, they follow like the media. Look, it's important to follow the media, but it's also important to do your own research, like for yourselves. Read the stats that are out there from the Treasury and Stats SA. Read that stuff for yourself, so you can get a better understanding. Understand why someone is telling you something. Why is it that a guy that has a company that does immigration for people, especially working professionals, is always telling you, oh no, people are leaving.
Yeah.
South Africa is terrible and horrible. They obviously have ulterior motives. That's how they make money.
Right.
So you should always be careful. That's what I think South Africans need to do, personally, for me. So yeah, I think some positivity is important. I'm not saying don't be critical, don't question things. I question things all the time, the good and the bad. But to just say, oh no, South Africa's ending or what, people have been saying that to me since I was a kid, and we're still here.
Right. Well, there's speaking in a minute, peace, Brother Terrence, but I'll get to you 1 second. Let me wrap up with Brother Josie. There is a great book, Noam Chomsky, Manufacturing Consent, right? And in that book, it talks about how the media becomes the propaganda arm of empire, right? And a lot of times, we don't want to go Donald Trump route and call everything fake news, but you're absolutely right. We must begin to interrogate and investigate the messages that we receive from the media and look at why would this particular organization put out this information? Why? What is the motivation behind it? I mean, we do it all the time here in the US because we have, the Fox News is supposed to be the conservative Republicans, and MSNBC is supposed to be far left liberals, and CNN is supposed to be in the middle, and they're really left leaning. So we look at it and we know that if I get information from Fox, I have to take that a certain way. If I get information from MSNBC, I have to take that a certain way. But with that being said, the media can become sometimes just a propaganda machine to push a certain narrative. And I wonder if there is a resentment by certain people in the West that South Africa, this formed democracy, this nation that ultimately in a peaceful transition of power defeated white supremacy in the form of apartheid, if there isn't a desire to see it fail by many in the West, like this underlying resentment because it was
there.
Yeah, that's what I want.
That's there.
Yeah.
Like it's there. Like I think a lot of people out there in the West, or many people around the world, or like even some Africans, unfortunately, I think people have difficulty accepting that South Africa being the way it is being run by Black people. And
right.
Like some people, it really bothers them. Some people do want to see this country fail. And it's unfortunate, but it's true. That's a reality. So yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, and I see it in there, and simultaneously, they'll jump on those planes from the West to go to South Africa, to go to Cape Town, to go and enjoy it, and they give us all of this negativity about SA. But when I get on the plane, my wife and my children, it's 4 Black people on the plane, my wife and my children and me, and the rest of our European brothers and sisters. But yeah, I think there's a lot of propaganda being pushed negatively because they wanted to see South Africa fall into tribal warfare. They wanted to see it crumble and decay. Yeah. And if they can't, since they don't see it, they begin to paint the picture in the media like it's that. Find me anything negative. Anything. 2 people got in a fight. Oh, it's a war. Right? Listen.
Yeah, they're looking for it.
As unfortunate as the July riots were of last year, they were unfortunate. It was disheartening to see. But we have been rioting since 2020, like protests, burning stuff down. We burned a police station down. We burned a McDonald's down, or Burger King or something, right? Doing all of these Black Lives Matter protests. And I'm not saying that they were wrong. Let them burn, because some of that stuff need to burn. But it's never painted as a threat to American democracy. January 6th, a gang of thousands of white people stormed the Capitol of the United States and literally defecated in the halls of our democracy, literally defecated in the halls of our democracy, and said that they were looking for the vice president of the United States to, I guess, assassinate him or whatever have you. I don't hope they don't get me banned from YouTube, but that's what they were looking. They were looking for our Congress people and all of that type of stuff, right? No one said that American democracy was in peril. No one said that American democracy like was cracking or the foundation was cracking. The moment the riots took place in KZN, wasn't it KZN, right? Primarily. And they said that South Africa's fragile democracy is beginning to break. I'm like, dang, behind some riots, as much as we do. It's just amazing the way the media can fake this, brother.
Yeah, look, I agree with you. Like, it's unfortunate, and it's unfortunate many people, that the people out there want to see South Africa fail. But one thing I do like about South Africans, most of us at least, is that we're very patriotic people. We really, really love this country. None of us want to see it like in shambles. And I think that's one of the reasons why many people want the ANC out. So something new, and we want to build a better nation. So yeah, thank you.
Definitely. Thank you so much for calling in, Brother Joseph. Brother Terrence, what's going on?
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm so glad to be here today. I got off work very early, so I got to catch the live rather than seeing the video afterwards. So I'm very happy with that.
I'm having just a little bit of trouble hearing you, brother, and it could be. Okay, maybe you want to pull that forward. Now we're gonna be right all in your grill. So, say that one more again. One more again.
I'll try and speak a bit louder. Can you hear me this time?
I can hear you a little bit better. Yes.
Okay. I was just expressing that I'm just glad to have found the live today rather than catch the videos afterwards. Well, I just wanted to comment a little bit on terms of what was said in regards to the propaganda of the media in terms of South Africa, how it's displayed, and the ANC hate that we see on social media. Like most of these things are primarily just propaganda, in a sense that it's political play, because what you find in the ANC is that the previous administration did a lot of bad things. So the current administration, the main focus and the main achievement that they're fighting for is to recover what we have lost based on the previous administration. So people are trying to place that as a sense that, because when you're searching for mayhem, you tend to find a lot of it. So people are taking that in a sense of the country's going down rather than the country's recovering from what we've been through. The most famous thing I could point towards is things like the state capture. The state capture inquiries and the court proceedings are a primary example of those things that the country is trying to recover in terms of what we have lost. So in terms of the current administration of Cyril Ramaphosa, I would say he's doing a good job, even though there's space for more. Because primarily, I remember when he was placed in power, the promise that he has made is mostly that we're gonna fight for the justice of the country. All the things that were taking place that were destroying the country's trajectory and going upwards, we're gonna fight for those things to return to their place. So, as a person who follows the proceedings, I see a lot of good things that are happening in the country. The results may not be something that we see right now, but the country is doing a lot of good work. And outside of the politics of it, in terms of looking at the data, despite all of the challenges that we have faced, the numbers of Black wealthy people are still on the rise. I wish I knew that this was going to be a question. I would have pulled out the stats just to give the proper numbers or the link, but I'll try and do so next time. I'll just put it in the comments feed. But the number of rich Black people or people in the come up is still on the rise, and primarily because the government is truly focusing right now, not just in the cities, but in the rural areas, because agriculture is a really big industry right now that they're really concentrating on. So there's a lot of investments that are happening, and those investments are unapologetically for Black people, like projects like the BEE Black Empowerment projects. So Black people are on the rise in such things. Because I remember we had a forum not too long ago in my city where the president came by, and when after the president proceedings were finished, the following day when we were called, we were introduced to the programs, and they showed us the multiple people who live in our area that have succeeded and become wealthy and better off in life because of those things. And about 90% of them, they were all Black. And this was not just the Black empowerment movement, but it was just the general empowerment of the country, and they're all Black. So I just wanted to speak on terms of something that I know personally, not just something of the country based, but there is so much Black empowerment that is happening in the country. So the media tends to only concentrate on the negative. I understand that. Well, good news doesn't sell. No one goes out of their mind that you walked home and you arrived home safely. You didn't fall, you didn't get robbed. But once someone gets, so you trip and fall, that's newsworthy. So I understand the media's perspective in the side of reporting newsworthy content, but but like we said, the media is also then a giant big propaganda machine that feeds off bad things. So they take what the bad that is happening, and they report it in such a dramatized way that you find yourself believing that, oh my God, Africa is going down, South Africa is going down. But in actual facts, when you are a person who likes reading and a person who likes chasing after information, you see that some things may be going in a negative direction, or some things may be standing still, but many things, even more than the bad things, are rising and things are happening. And because most of the things that we're fighting for right now, especially as young people, we are sick and tired of answering to Western powers. So everything we are fighting for, we want to fight for things that are for us and are created by us and owned by us, rather than the continuous narrative and continuous hegemony of the West, where everything has to belong to them. They have to approve to everything. So in many aspects, yes, we do have the pushback politically and as well as geologically in terms of the West opposing what we want, but many things are having a foothold and we are rising and moving forward, not just staying as a Black country that is owned by a white country, but we are moving out of that. We are free, but we are not completely free in a sense that the West do own a lot of things that we do. The West are involved in a lot of things that we do. They mingle in everything that we do, and we are trying to chase them out. And one day we will succeed. We just have to keep on doing it.
Right. Well, I think for that was thank you, brother. That a lot, and I think to piggyback off of what you're saying, like Black people are doing well, the middle class, you actually see it. So maybe it takes the eyes of an outsider, right, to give a different perspective. Because when I arrived in Josie, I was like, this is Black people doing very well, right? And yeah, that's what I thought. Because everywhere we went, now keep in mind, yeah, we ended up in like Alexander Township, where we did El Dorado, and we did Hillbrow, right? But for the most part, we were in Sandton, in the northern suburbs of Johannesburg, around those areas. So to see all of those Black people, and that's got to be, a million Black folk right there, or more. It's like these people are doing well, and yes, we know that they're still the white minority that has a lot of wealth or whatever have you. I also think it just takes time for the transition to take place. And an important thing about that Dating Maverick video presentation was that it said for the one time, anyway, it was like it's 55% to 45%. Like there's more Black millionaires in SA than white millionaires. And I thought that was important because a lot of times it's painted as, oh, all the white people still have all the money and blah, 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 blah. Right. Well, this is gradually changing and things take time, So definitely, brother, thank you so much for that. Zane or Zane?
You got it right the first time.
Zane, what's going on, brother Zane?
Good morning from my side of the world. So I'm South African. I'm currently in Thailand.
Oh, wow.
I'm so happy that you guys are doing what you're doing. Like, you've got no idea. I would tell on camera. I would tell on camera, but I'm so flushed. I'm excited. I'm too excited. I'm ridiculously excited right now. I'm so happy that you're doing what you're doing. I'm not going to go into the politics of everything. I'm just going to tell you like a few of my experiences. The first one that I want to comment on is I really like the fact that you guys are talking about the opportunities that are happening in South Africa. As a person, as a Black South African male who is currently in Thailand, I have to say, let me switch on my camera. Let me so you guys can see me. Dr. Saad, why did you choose Zoom? This is so yesterday, sir. Wait.
You said, why did I do what?
I said, why did you choose Zoom? I feel like it's so old already. I don't even know how to use it.
Because I'm old. It's hard for me to learn these new stuff, so I choose Zoom. It's real easy. So, peace, brother, how you doing?
Hi guys. I'm really happy to be on your channel. Absolutely excited. So I just want to say, like, I'm really excited about what you guys are doing. That being number one. Number two is the fact that you were speaking about the opportunities in South Africa. And I like what the other gentleman said as well as to how South Africans are negative. He's not wrong with what he's saying. South Africans have had a very bad history, all that stuff. So he's not entirely wrong about what he's saying. But also what's very important is another point that you made. I'm just speeding through these points. Okay. You said, as an outsider, it's easy for you to see opportunities in, the positivity of that place. Yeah. I have to say you are absolutely right, because living over here, it's great. It's fantastic. I can't complain. I miss home. Like, I really miss home. And when I hear you guys talk so positively about home, I'm questioning my decision. Like, yeah, I think we need to go back home. With. I tell my wife, maybe I think we need to go back home. So I'm really happy and I'm really excited. Sitting over here in Thailand and I'm looking at the opportunities back home. It's like looking at everything like through a magnifying glass. All the things that I didn't see before when I was living in the country, I see them now and I'm like, if only I'd known. It's good that I got the experiences of being outside of South Africa. I appreciate that life brought me over here. I'm happy about that too. And my family, we're doing good. We're living well. But I have to say, like, when it comes to opportunities, I just feel like a lot of South Africans are not exposed to what other people are doing in other parts of the world in order for them to implement it back home. Yeah. You guys, you guys can see where you guys can, help out or do better for yourselves and your families. And I like the fact that you guys are coming with good energy, like good energy. Like when I came over here, they told me, you need to get your energy right. You need to get your energy right. So I love the fact that, I'm wearing Mr. Miyagi shirts and everything. So, so I'm happy. I'm really happy. That's all I have to say. I'll probably talk to you guys on another live, but I'm way too excited right now.
Man, I appreciate that, Zane, man. Like that, it warms my heart just to hear you say that, man.
Thank you guys.
We love South Africa. We love the people and the energy that you're displaying right now. That your energy is fine with me. Right. You know what I'm saying? Your energy is fine with me. It might be the Mr. Miyagi shirt.
My wife is asleep. She's right next to me right now. She'd be exactly the same way. She'd be exactly the same way.
So, man, thank you so much, brother. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Have a good one. Did we?
No,
someone the iPhone. Yeah.
Rolled out.
Yeah. Well, let's check on some of these comments because it looks like
I have a question for Zane, real quick.
Oh,
he jumped off. Dang.
Hey.
That's all right. That's all right. Gabriel is coming in.
Every time I want to say Jabril.
I know you do.
I want to say Jabril. All right, I missed a whole lot of comments. I'm sorry. I can't.
Try to go back. I'm sure there's comments between folks.
Yeah, we'll out of here.
To manage.
Somebody said they would love to hear the culture shocks after a couple of months in SA. Definitely. So we spoke with a sister who did Peace Corps actually in South Africa, but more importantly, she discussed with us or with Adrienne, really, this is the second hand, about like in Peace Corps, they prepare people for like the 3 months, the 6 months, the 9 month, I guess in the year. And I think it's a time that we need to prepare ourselves for an expectation, because Peace Corps says, I guess after 3 months or
there's like these cycles, where you're excited, like she said, that excitement, oh, it's new,
right,
that wanes, you're ready to go home,
right,
but if you stick it through, you're
fine. Right. So I think it's at about the 6-month period, they're like, you're going to want to go home, you're going to look back like, why did I do this, and blah 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 blah. And they say it's completely normal, because I don't know if it's separation anxiety kicks in. I don't know, whatever have you. Let me mute Gabriel right quick till we come in. But I don't know what it is, but the Peace Corps has studied how their volunteers who go somewhere for 2 years, they know after 3 months, they're super duper excited to be there. 6 months, they're ready to go home, and then, at 9 months, it's getting better. They probably met a friend, or they develop their social network and things become better. I think we may experience that. I don't know. I don't know the future. I'm not a fortune teller, but I do know that part of developing that social network will help us to ease some of those times when it's like, oh man, I want to go back. I'm gonna be kind of hard pressed to say that I want to go back.
I know. I was really trying to what could happen there?
Yeah. Like, I don't want to know what could happen. I don't want to, because some bad stuff could happen. Right. I don't want to know bad stuff happen. So I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't even ask them type of questions. I don't even know. So, but from my experiences in my mind, I know the decision that I made and the reason why I made those decisions. And I can't see the alternative being presented in the United States, So, but as I get older, maybe I would want to move to, maybe not Johannesburg, to another smaller town, because I hear about the traffic in the morning and driving 45 minutes and stuff like that. I'm gonna say that may work my nerves, because I come from a city that what you guys call the M1 and the N1, we would call like a highway and or freeway or interstate or whatever have you. And I never had to get on those. I could stay on surface streets or regular streets and get to work, get to school, get to the kids' school, get to the grocery store.
Like what, 15?
All in 15 minutes. Yeah, I never had to go anywhere where we did it every once in a while. It's an option, but I didn't have to. So I can see where sitting in traffic can be like, Jesus Christ, what is this? And let me tell you how I know, because we were just in Houston last week and we ran into some traffic. I was like, this can't be real life. You gotta sit in this every day. This can't be real life. No, indeed. So I did hear about the traffic. Before we get to let's get to Brother Jabril.
Gabriel.
Lord. Gabriel. Let me see how I mute.
Hey, I'm Jibril. How are you?
Jabril, he said, what did he say?
Look,
Jabril.
But the couple of times he call people Jabril, they're like, it's Gabriel.
It's Jabril. Okay, that's fine. It's Jabril. Yeah, it's fine. It's an angel. How are you?
Man, we are blessed, brother. How are you?
I'm fine. And let me apologize on behalf of my country for the problems that you're facing regarding your visa and all of those things. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that you had issues regarding your visa. And I hope it's getting sorted out. So what I wanted to say is this. From our side, the fact that we obtained our democracy in the glare of the media, and then in the advent of the social media, it was quite both a blessing and a curse, but more so as a blessing, because the news travel fast, as the people have indicated, especially the bad news, they travel fast, and you see there's this narrative about the continent of Africa. So people are viewing South Africa sort of like is it going to be an exception to the rule of all the independent states of Africa that has gone through in the 60s, 70s, and then a little bit of crack in the armor, it received more attention than not, especially when you look at your Fox News, to say a white man is a savior. of Africans across the world, even in America. When you brought in there, you are better off. There is a time, I remember one author, well, a journalist in fact, he wrote a book during 1994 when the genocide was happening in Rwanda, where the African American even said he thanked God for slavery, and the fact that he was an African American, not being an African at the time, a Tutsi, looking what was happening, the bodies flowing in the river and all of those things. So in straight extent, it does happen to South Africans as well, Black South Africans particularly, from time to time when they say, hey, it was better under apartheid. Because of the exposure to some of the things that are happening as far as crime. So I'll call those are the teething problems for a baby in democracy. When you look at America, how many years have America obtained democracy? And how many years, for instance, they say they believe the emancipation of African Americans from slavery, and the lynching in the early 20s and all of those things. So ours is still a baby. However, we as Black South Africans, what I like at the same time is that we are our worst critique, because we can't settle just for less and rest in our laurels. We are the protest capital of the world. South Africans, we protest a lot. We do, and that is sort of like a safeguard against tyranny. And it almost happened even from as soon as some people they have that monopoly or showing tendency of tyranny, we rebel against that. We are rebels. In terms of our history, for instance, we fought the British from the Xhosas to the Zulus across the whole different tribes. We did, and when they found the diamonds in Kimberley, we refused to go and work because they're to mine, and we remain as farmers and subsistence farmers. And then they have to introduce what is called the poll tax, and then they said you have to pay that poll tax. Yes, in military terms, that is when you know, you have to read about the Bambata Rebellion, which happened around 1906 in KwaZulu-Natal, in KwaZulu at the time, where Bambata, one of the small chiefs within the Zulu kingdom, they said no, they won't pay that tax, and also they wanted us to pay not in kind but in cash, to compel us to go and work in the mines. Right? That's why you find out, okay, in terms of the history of the country, Black South Africans were never enslaved because we're rebellious, and we know the country and all of those things. Hence, they have to import people from Indonesia, from Malaysia, from Mozambique, and all of those, and some Angola, to come and be enslaved in South Africa, but they couldn't enslave the natives because we were rebellious and all of those things. So coming now, in terms of the modern democracy, we are rebellious still. Sometimes we need to be able to get to note our limits, where our rights end and our obligation starts. So we need to strike that balance now to say, hey, it's not about entitlements, but it's also about your responsibilities. That's what we need to be able to find as far as the balance is concerned. Unfortunately, that the politicians, when they come in 1990, South Africans were some of the most entrepreneurial people under apartheid, because you know that the state couldn't take care of you. You have to take care of ourselves. You see, so we're more entrepreneurial under apartheid. But then come democrats, and then people say, "Hey, we're gonna do this for you. We're gonna do this for you." Then they created that entitlement culture, of which under democrats, of course, we know people have got those socio-economic development rights, but what we fail to counterbalance on the other side is to say, hey, it comes with this kind of social responsibilities that you need to be able to say is not take, but you need to be able to give. The giving side, the responsibility side is what we need to be able to learn or unlearn some of the entitlement culture that we have. So our institutions have been tested. So we've learned that we cannot rely on the messianic figures from Mandela, Reagan, Zuma, and all of those. So if we know that, okay, now it's about the institutions that we put in place that were stretched during the Zuma years. We survived because of a lady called Professor Thuli Madonsela, who's a public protector, who fought truth to power. That woman was standing between us and abyss. at the time. And then our courts as well, our independent court, especially the apex court, the constitutional court, that came to the fore. So we understand all the criticism that's going to become, not only from the West, but also from some of our counterparts within the continent, because we look at us and also sometimes we think of ourselves as exceptional in terms of the African continent, but we are not, of course, because a little bit of a wrong choice of a leader going to step into the abyss. Because at one point, Zuma was talking about, if I were a dictator, I would do 1, 2, 3. I would do 1, 2, 3. Of course, because of the power that was enormous on him, he was able to control and dominate the state, except for what? The judiciary. And except for who? The public protector. That's how then we're able to survive. But going forward in 2024, hoping you'll be in this country, you'll be saying it's going to be exciting, because now we're going to be entering into the era of coalition. That's our sort of our trajectory, or let's say our extrapolation based on the previous results. So what we need now to be able to do, once we have leadership that respect the institutions, then we need the society or the citizenry that knows that it is our civic duty to get ourselves educated. It is our civic duty to take care of our kids. It is our civic duty to make sure that there's no crime and all of those things. So we're looking forward to 2024. The experiences that we have held in the couple of 28 years that we've been liberated, it's been enormous. It's been very enlightening. So with regards to for instance, in terms of the demo, notwithstanding all the challenges that we face, as you are rightly saying, our middle class has been one of the fastest growing middle class, even in the whole world. Call them the black diamonds. I've been in the space where I've seen youngsters, even now, if you can come up, okay, I'm going to recommend one small town that you need to go and visit in Limpopo. It's called Polokwane. Mm-hmm. If you can get Polokwane, if you can get a good guide to be able to see that town, how that town is transformed, and you see how we talk about the black middle class and the black upper middle class. You see a youngster driving a McLaren. You know the McLaren? Yes.
Yeah, I know McLaren. Yeah.
Yes. You can see the number of women that are entrepreneurs, that are millionaires. You won't believe it. So I suggest that once you are settled, just spend a little bit of time in a small town called Polokwane, or you ask people about it, Polokwane. And also what you're going to find in South Africa is that in terms of the ownership of the economy, remember, the government balkanized South Africa into these Bantustan, separating people through their ethnicity. The Zulus this side, Xhosas there, the Tswanas this side, and all of those. If you go to those former homelands, of course, the economy and everything, the value chain across will be black owned, right? And then when you come to because you remember, black people were not allowed to own businesses. During apartheid, you're not allowed. You will get a white person or a person of Indian origin coming into the township, having a license to operate a shop. But notwithstanding our history, within a short period of time, you'll be able to see through the government's affirmative action policies, including the black economic empowerment policies. Of course, white people don't like it, but we do it. That's how we're able now to transform, not creating black millionaires, whatever. We're transforming the value chain, integrating the two economies to say there's a black economy and a white economy, but we want the black economy to be integrated into the original equipment manufacturing and the first economy of the white people. If they don't want to accept that change, we create what? A parallel supply chain. A parallel supply chain with the support from the government in terms of, because the government, we know, is the largest consumer or the largest procurer of goods and services in any country. And probably unless in America, I don't know, but I think so, still in the federal level, probably they are, because of the different states and all of those things. But if you aggregate the whole budget by the state, it's larger than any corporation, including, for instance, Tesla or even Amazon. So I'll assume that. So, but now, if you look at the government's procurement and supply chain, the procurement per annum in South Africa is close to 1 trillion rand, right, in procurement from the government. The government, if they put that to say, no, each and every transaction that goes out, we need to see a BEE, Black Economic Empowerment. Who are the beneficiaries and all of those things. That's why now you'll be able to find that Black people are owning certain percentage in some of the largest conglomerates that you can think of. One of the largest telecom companies is MTN. It's dominating South Africa. It's also dominating, including having Iran and Nigeria as part of the countries that are in there. So as a Black American coming to South Africa, we're coming here now with an environment that enables you to succeed because it's geared towards that, right? Whereas in America, it was working against you. You're just based on the color of your skin. When you come to South Africa, with due respect to Martin Luther King, it's not only about the character, but you still look at who are you. The color of your skin still matters in South Africa, because when you look at the value chain, how it is networking, how Black and white people are together, how the Jewish people go together, and all of those things. So it's a no-brainer that as Black people, we need to be able to go together as well, right? So you're going to come to that enabling environment for you to be able to thrive. That's the environment that we're creating. But in as much as we've got those rights, but we need to make sure that we cultivate that culture of responsibility. Thank you, colleagues.
Brother, this brother, excuse me, Lord have mercy. Man, I'm listening and I just started to think how informed like South Africans are about their economy, their politics, their history.
Right.
Like most people could not give a soliloquy on American political processes and economic intersection just off the top of their head. But we've seen two people do it off top.
Just like that.
Just bam, bam, bam. And Jabril, you getting love in the comments. Yes, teach, teacher. What's going on?
Thank you.
Yeah, so brother, you said a lot, and I'm slow, so I'm gonna have to go back and I'm gonna I gotta process all of that.
Culture of responsibility, unity among Black people, just
the
so
democracy,
many, really strong points.
The time of the democracy, and America is still. My political science teacher, Dr. Gary Clark, said that American democracy is only an experiment to see if 300 million people can govern themselves. And I think that's applicable to all democracies, right? All democracies must have a bespoke way of approaching their government, right? American democracy is only a model for America, right? Yeah. And I think that as he mentioned about, and to paraphrase, but maybe not being like, I don't know, having white countries try to control what's in there, say the type of independence they need, creating a truly South African democracy. And with that being said, the model maybe for democracies around the world should be South Africa and their constitution, as it is considered one of the best constitutions in the world. But the brother said a lot. I want to get to these. I didn't miss so much stuff.
Yeah, you're not.
Oh, family, y'all. I'm sorry for those in the comments and are asking questions and stuff. It's a lot of questions. There's a lot of stuff to go back. So I'm about to just freestyle through it and catch the ones I can. I apologize. Let me see. I'm back. I'm going to put y'all on the big screen.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah. So Jules Howard is a person, I don't know if he's from New Orleans or not, but he used to follow me on Facebook. I have been critical of rap music and it hurts his feelings. So I just want to put that out there. You know, people love rap music. I have been critical, very critical of the use of misogyny, rape culture, the N-word, the promotion of violence, the promotion of drugs, the promotion of destruction of the Black community. And you really can't make an argument to me that says, yeah, but it's okay, right? Yeah, it's okay. Can you make the argument for me? Like, why do we have to call our women B's and H's? Like, you never turn on country music, right? Or other forms of music, love songs, jazz music, right? The only with the glaring exception of Miles Davis calling his last album B-I-T-C-H-E-S's Brew, right? But yeah, I don't like rap music like that no more. Yeah, but anyway, he is here's a genius. Thank you for defending our country. Biggest issue was we let the colonizers stay in SA or ZA. I'm sorry for saying your name incorrectly. It's cool. Sweeping like I didn't know. Okay. More skeptical about such things. Oh, they talking to each other.
Right,
Okay,
that's
okay,
right.
okay.
This
Okay.
is the lost cause.
You gave I touched on some things. Don't worry about. And right there, paying. Have you guys received your visas? So we need to clarify. Everybody said, so we got our passports because I want to clarify this because I see people asking, I said, we got our passports. They said we could hold our passports until we get our visas, right? The visas are on the way. And I was assured of that at the embassy. But we can hold our passports so we can be able to travel. The visa should be here very shortly. So that's that. You know, I don't want to be made out to be no lie.
Right, right.
I don't lie to nobody.
I got this process.
Yeah, I don't want made out to be no lie. We had people, we talked. So look, let me tell you how we had to do this. I had to go to Facebook on the South African Embassy, Washington, D.C. page and start texting somebody on the messenger because it was getting late. But so they assured that as soon as our visas come in, they will contact us. There's been a lot going on at that SA embassy. And if I'm not mistaken, our stuff is way past DHA. Our stuff that's going on at SA embassy right now is dealing with, they have some server issues or whatever have you.
Yeah.
So as soon as that's corrected, we'll be able to just pick up the visas. But they're like, you can take your passports and rock out. So July 28th, we'll be able to be over there. We'll be back in the States. By the time we get back in the States, we should go right back to DC, get our visas, and we'll be squared away. But I don't want to be made out to be, I don't want y'all calling the embassy. Well, how y'all took care of Asad and take care of? Hold up. Don't be no hater.
Bill's trying to put you on Front Street. He
Who
said
did?
he want to know. It's almost August. And have y'all moved yet? Seriously, what's the problem? What's the problem, Asad?
Ain't no problem. I just explained it to these people what's going on. You know, let me tell you, he got the feeling that I was going off on rap. You know, the people love that's idolatry. That's what it is.
Server issues. Huh?
Idolatry.
Well, you really must have gotten his feelings. The rap stuff. My goodness.
Yeah, but unfortunately, some people like the go. Oh man, he made me say it.
Not doing it.
Yeah, I'm
Not doing it.
So we're gonna hit that bam, head on. So the brother said, unfortunately, some people like that go black only see the negativity in that saying. And here's what I say. First of all, this is not a direct shot at go black, or it's not even a shot. If I invite you to New Orleans, right? I'm a New Orleanian. It's in my blood. If I invite you to New Orleans, you can stay there a whole week, and I can keep you on St. Charles Avenue. I can keep you in Lakeview. I can keep you in State Street, Garden District, and you will be like, this is just magnificent.
Right.
Or I could take you to the 7th Ward where we lived, right? I could take you to the 9th Ward. I could take you uptown on 2nd and D and all those areas. And you'll be like, damn, I'm in danger.
Things are really bad.
Really bad in New Orleans. So
and if you ask the people who live there, they're going to tell you something. They're going to tell you their experience.
Right.
But the folks who are on State Street
They'll tell you
or
that.
Lakeview will tell you
their experience. Right? So whatever you seek, you will find. Whatever you seek, you will find. Now check this out. Whereas I love the great philosophical musician Sly Stone saying that he is for everyday people. I'm for everyday people. But why would I go to any other country, let alone just South Africa, but any other country and seek out, not to say the worst, because just because there's poverty doesn't mean it's the worst, but poverty in the United States often coincides with violence. You see what I'm saying? And so when I say, why would I go to Atlanta and go to the hood? Let's use Atlanta. Why would I go to Atlanta and go to the hood and let that be the entirety of my experience in Atlanta, right? Yeah. Again, we went to Alexander, we went to El Dorado, we saw everyday people, everyday South Africans living, and those who are on the lower socioeconomic end of the spectrum, right? On the lower end of the spectrum. We saw it. We're not blind to it, but I don't
property.
I own property in Malvern, right? Why would I go to New York and want to hang out in the Marcy Housing Project? I don't. I don't. That's not what I'm seeking. If I want to go and hang in rough areas and all that, I'll just stay in New Orleans. It's around the corner. I ain't got to go that far, right? So I'm not seeking that. So whatever someone's seeking, they will find, right? Because for every argument that someone could make, oh, South Africa's doing bad and blah, 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 blah. Well, every argument you can make, we can make one on the contrary or to the contrary. So I just think, people have their perspectives. They're going to find what they want to find, and again, that's not a shout out. That's not an attack or anything towards Go Black. I reached out to the brother, told him I was going to be in the essay because I'm hoping that when I get the essay, I'm going to show him what I see through my eyes, right? Let me show you what I see through my eyes. And he's very gracious. Like, I'm not, listen, on a personal level, me speaking to the brother, very gracious, very nice, whatever have you. He just has his perception of essay and hopefully his time in country. And I didn't really want to speak directly like this about the brother, but I don't think I'm saying anything negative. But I think hopefully his time in country will give him a different perspective of what he may see essay to be, or what is perceived as a negative perception of essay.
So from what I observed, he might see that maybe everyone's painting a rosy, imperfect picture of it. And so he might feel like I need to show another side for people to have the big picture. Been there. I don't know.
Listen, before my algorithm on YouTube changed, when I would type in Johannesburg, it would be this white boy's face that would pop up walking through, and the name of the title, Johannesburg, Johannesburg, is Johannesburg dangerous, or crime in Johannesburg, something like that. So I'm just saying that you can find that perception already. In fact, I think that individuals that started painting a more rosy picture were the ones who were counteracting a narrative that it was all bad over there, that it was just horrible. So when you, again, so I don't know. I don't know, but I mean, everybody has a right to their perspective, to their opinion, but don't let that just dissuade me from doing what I'm gonna do.
Right.
Don't let that dissuade me. First of all, New Orleans, Louisiana, I want y'all to go and check this. New Orleans, Louisiana has officially, this isn't the first time we've been #1 in a while, become the murder capital of the United States. The murder capital. So ain't nothing that's going on in Josie. I just told y'all earlier, 60% of Black males in the city of New Orleans are unemployed. 60%. There ain't nothing they gonna tell me about Johannesburg or South Africa that's gonna compare to these numbers over here in this city. Now that's just my city, right? That's not Houston. Negroes doing well in Houston. Let me give you facts. Negroes doing well in DC. Facts. But I'm from New Orleans, so.
Someone has some questions about rental property. Do you still own property in SA?
Yeah.
Do you rent it out?
Yeah.
Like being an absentee landlord.
I ain't no absentee landlord. That's a negative. I don't know what that means. That's a negative term where I'm from. I don't, maybe she just mean not being there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the US.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Because absentee
So far,
landlord,
so good.
we have a property manager. We have a property manager.
And we recently got one unit renovated.
Yep.
From afar.
From afar.
The property manager said, we know someone really good that can work with you to, update your unit.
We got two, remember, because we did Malvern. We got some work done on Malvern.
That is true. So yes, for those, right, for those in Santon, that man renovated an entire apartment. We communicated via WhatsApp. It was great. Yeah. He did a fantastic job. Even he worked through some kinks. He took full responsibility. Excellent experience with a contractor.
Facts.
And then Malvern, we have a fantastic, what would you call it? Keeper. Property keeper.
She's a tenant / caretaker.
Yeah. She's excellent.
Excellent.
And it's been great.
And so Malvern has 12 units. So we say Malvern is a property in Malvern. It has 12 separate apartments in that property. And she's like the lady who, so we have a property manager proper, right? But she's the caretaker. She's the one who really runs everything and controls everything over there and keeps the property up and running in order. Yeah. So maybe we've just been fortunate. So, I can only tell you about our experiences, but for the other properties that are in like Santon, Paulsoft, and all that type of stuff, we have another property management organization or property management company that manages those. So it's two separate property management companies. It's been great. We got work done. So what happened was one tenant moved out of one of our properties, and we tried for like 2 months, maybe not 2 months, maybe about a month to get it rented. And the property manager lady said, it's because it's outdated. You have to update it, change the kitchen out, put in some carpet, put in new carpet or whatever have you. So we did that. She found us a guy, or she said she had a guy. He did that. And then once he was completed with the job, bam, 2 weeks later, it was like rented, so we've had great experiences so far. I would say that I can see that there are times when it could be challenging to own a lot of property or to own property as rental in SA. And I think from our next purchase, because we've been concentrated in Johannesburg, I think I'm looking now towards Durban or Cape Town. Cape Town is a little bit more of an expensive market, but I want some beachfront stuff. I've had conversations with several people who are telling me that as these coasts are developing, we need to get some property. One guy said, just get it and hold it if you don't want to build anything. If you don't want to build anything or buy it, just get you some property and hold it, because as they come up the coast, that property value will increase. I may play that game, but I also may look into Airbnb for like beachfront property and stuff. So shout out to that. We'll see. I don't know where we are.
We're getting close to, when did we start this? How long have we been on?
We've been on since 11:15. Yeah, somebody said, I agree with Dr. Sai concerning rap music. There is good rap. It's not being promoted. I don't listen to current rap music. I always have your movie. I say, yeah. Seriously, what's the hold up? I thought we answered that. Maybe that's way up there. Maybe so. It is. But well, tell them time is up. And
you skip too much. You probably still don't
know. I don't know what that's about. Kindly share this management firm, please. I don't want to get screwed. So let me tell you, we use Rawson for the properties in the Santon area. Rawson, RAWSON. They also sell properties. They also sold us a property. And then Trafalgar for the one in Mount, because Rawson was like, no, we don't do those.
In that particular area, we don't have a presence or an office.
Yeah, we don't do those. So Malvern is a different area. And they're like, no, we don't do those. So we had to get another company. And I would say if it were not for our caretaker on the property, I'm not sure how well Malvern, that property would be working out. Yeah. Trafalgar, let's just say they're I don't know, maybe they realize that we're not in country. They're just two hands off of me. right? I do get emails like, my money ain't never been missing, so I can't complain too much. My money ain't never been missing. But for instance, when stuff was not working or needed repair, it was the caretaker who contacted us. It was the caretaker that we worked with instead of the property management company that should have been doing. So really all Trafalgar is doing is collecting money from us each month. Yeah, they're collecting money.
That works until we get there.
Yeah,
that works.
And what I want is to have somebody, like, as much as I love my caretaker and the work she does, I appreciate it. But if something goes wrong, I can hold this company responsible. You follow what I'm saying? If I got a problem, I can go and find me a lawyer and deal with this company. Yeah. And that's probably the only reason why we keep them in place on paper, is because I need to hold somebody responsible. There's also Pam Golding, Remax, Keller Williams. That's right. And these are all names, especially Keller Williams. Keller Williams and Remax are all American names, right? Like are all American companies also. So when people ask us about buying property, I'm like, you're going to go and find a Remax dealer. You know what I'm saying? And Keller Williams, these places are there. The process of buying and owning property in SA is very similar to that in the United States. And although we are outside of SA right now, we're not new to the property ownership game. We're not new to being landlords or anything like that. We've been doing that for years. So you can never go wrong with property, SA, if you invest in Cape Town. I don't think you can go wrong with property, period. You can. It's hard to mess up property. And then we're gonna wrap this up, but it's hard to mess up property. Like a lot of times, let me say this and we're gonna roll. A lot of times people will be like, hey, I want you to invest in this business. And I'm like, I'm really not that smart. I keep telling y'all, a PhD only means you are you know more and more about less and less. Right? I know this little bit of something that I can just blah, 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 blah. But other than that, I'm really not that smart. So getting all into like people, I want you to get into agricultural business with me. I want you to get into IT with me. I'm like, man, I don't know nothing about that stuff. I wouldn't know nothing about that. But at the end of the day, I do know that people need a place to stay. And they will pay you to stay in a place. And that's very basic. So I buy this, you rent it from me. I'm happy, you happy. I'm happy, you happy. And that's just basic to me. So I don't see it's hard to mess up property. A dummy could do it. I'm doing it, a dummy can do it. So if you buy and rent, or as they call it in the industry, buy and hold, right? You can, it's hard to lose. And
the only thing that'll mess you up is if you just don't have any reserves, like
right? Cash reserves, yeah.
Get damaged and you can't fix it,
right?
Or if you have a mortgage on it and you can't.
That's a different story. Yeah.
So you definitely have to have some reserves.
Have the reserves, and the beautiful thing about buying property is that you can always sell it. If you need your money back, you can always sell it. So, someone said if you are able to buy, what you get back more than doubles, right? How many properties do we own in SA? Technically is 3 properties, but it's 14 doors, if that makes sense, right? 1 property has 12 apartments in it. So it's 3 properties, 14 doors. No, 12, 13, 14 doors. Does that make sense? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Able to buy, try parklands. Your tenant caretaker, are they taking care of the property for free? Are they charging a fee for their role? I don't charge them rent.
Yeah.
I don't charge them rent at all. And when the property management came to me talking about they were going to put out, I wish you would. I'm gonna put you out. I wish you would. No, she was there when we bought the property. So it's just the way things worked out. When we bought the property, she had already lived there, right? She had been living there for years. And so she's invested in this place. This is in her mind, this is hers, right? So when we first bought the place, the previous owner was like, she's phenomenal, you know, she handles most of our stuff. In fact, she actually kind of property manages for the previous company. The previous owners was actually a company. And there's like, you know, she knows how to run this place. So she kind of came built in, and they were telling us that they didn't charge her rent because of the work that she does, right? So that's what we do. We don't charge her rent. And she has another job, right? So she works for the previous owners. But for the little stuff around Malvern that she does, we don't charge her rent, and she's just absolutely phenomenal. The young child, if you don't know, is not alive. The MCT is overpriced, only works for people with pounds and dollars. Let's explain property tax. Briefly explain property taxes in America. Like property taxes, you own your property, but they tax you just to own the property. So every year, I think our property taxes were like, oh, it wasn't that bad. Maybe like, well, see, no, because we had homestead exemption.
Paying an SA versus the US.
Well, we had homestead exemption, so that's what we forget. Like they didn't tax us on the first $75,000 of our home.
Yeah.
Right. So we were taxed on the value of it above $75,000, which is still significant. But
more and more significant.
Yeah, the more
years rolled by.
Yeah, the more your property value went up, the more those taxes went up. So you'd be like, oh, I got all this equity in my home, but you got to pay them taxes.
Right.
And so I don't necessarily understand, you know, how they decide how much you pay. So if you have a mortgage, your mortgage company will pay the taxes for you, and they hold money in escrow. So every time you pay your mortgage, some goes towards your principal, some goes towards interest, some goes towards escrow, and they will pay your property taxes. If you don't have a mortgage, you're responsible for paying your property taxes. And I think on like one of those driest property, I think it was only like $1,700 a year, which is not bad. If you figure you're renting for that property, it was a double. This is in New Orleans. It was a double. You figure you're renting those out, you know, that's like 1 month's rental to pay on property taxes. So I mean, I don't know how the differences between that and SA. All right, you ready to?
Yeah. Gotta make some moves.
All right, so
I'm visiting with my family before we scoot up out of here.
It's saying 14 doors. It's 14 separate apartments in the one place, or I guess you want to call them rooms, but we call them apartments.
Like studio apartments.
Yeah, like studio apartments. And some of them are a little bigger than a studio, but yeah. So it's one big property. It even has a commercial space on the side. That when we first bought it had a business there, but we bought it during COVID, and COVID killed the business. Let me tell you something. We probably wouldn't have lucked up on these properties if we had not bought them during COVID, right? Because the constriction and the economies around the world were just prime opportunities for those who had liquid assets, liquid cash to be able to buy. And it's, hate to say it, but capitalism loves a profit off of disaster. And
the company selling it, probably they had lost so many tenants. They knew that business was going out, so they were like, let me offload this
disaster. So let me get it, right? And let me get it, and I can hold it. And a year later, COVID is over, and now things change. So thanks for sharing today so much. Listen, now I want to caretake a property for you. Come on through, man. I'm gonna get some more. Man, family, thank y'all so much for watching. We really appreciate it, man. We spent a lot of time with them today.
We did.
Yeah.
It's been so long though. We haven't been uploading as much. We're just moving around so much, preparing for this move, visiting
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
July 28th, we'll be on the ground. I'm gonna link up with. Maybe we should do a meetup. Should we do a meetup?
Can you think we can?
It's so late.
We're only there for that week to house hunt. Then we got to shoot back here and then shoot back. So do you do it when you're back? Back?
Yeah, I don't know.
In that visiting week.
Well, because right now it would take so long to kind of promote. We had to do 2 or 3. I don't know how to promote it right now to get people out, but
yeah,
I don't know. Family, we love y'all. Thank y'all for watching. I don't think nobody's watching this whole replay because it's about 2 hours long.
Right.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one. Peace.
Bye, guys.